We knew this was coming.
Hey, why are you hating LeBron, dude?
I'm just not a LeBron fan. I never
What
have been.
is it? The Heat signature? Is
Huh?
that one?
Yeah,
The,
it's because of the heat. Is
My
that
my
why?
LeBron hate started when he took what was rightfully mine, and that was my excitement for a Thunder championship. Okay? That son
fair
of a
enough.
bitch.
Fair enough.
All right,
Hmm.
yeah. So I was off the LeBron wagon when he went to Miami. I was just like, man, fuck this guy. He's doing something that nobody should be doing. Like, you shouldn't go and build a super team. And then shortly after he did it, everybody started doing it. And it's just kind of like, oh, whatever. All right, forgive and forget. He goes back to Cleveland, wins them a chip. And then I've been a Braun fan ever since that moment. Not a big fan of him being in LA. I kind of wish he would finish career out in Cleveland, but
This is a LeBron sexual now.
I'm not a Braun sexual. I just acknowledge that he's the GOAT.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
So do we want to dive right into the GOAT convo?
I mean, you can, but it's just like, okay.
LeBron James or Michael Jordan. I got a couple accolades on here. You can't see it because of my name down here at the bottom, but that says fourth on the all-time scoring list, not all-time scoring leader. But I won't be biased when I read this. All right, Michael Jordan, 5-time MVP, 6-time Finals MVP, 9-time All Defense, 11-time All NBA champion, and he's in top 5 all-time scoring. Then you move on over to LeBron James. You got 4-time MVP, 4-time Finals MVP, 6-time All Defense, which I honestly didn't know. So never really saw LeBron as a defender. I guess those are his early days.
early career.
Yeah, early career. 18-time All NBA and all officially now the all-time scoring leader.
Okay.
I mean,
LeBron's longevity has, as a great player, I mean, has done all the stats, right? Like,
right. The all-time scoring leader thing is a longevity record.
right.
He's kept his body in shape for 20 years, and that's impeccable. It really is. But
That's good, and he was going to break that. No, I mean, no, unless he just had a slew of injuries down the stretch. It is a different game today, like Billy said. But as far as LeBron, listen. It's so easy to be number 2, but MJ is number 1. Okay, let's just. I'm going to read off a couple things that I sent earlier just to have for the segment. Remember, MJ so far has played 4 seasons less. Um, 4 seasons less, 284 fewer games. MJ has 2 more rings, 2 more finalist MVPs, 1 more MVP, 1 more Defensive Player of the Year, 9 more scoring titles, more steals titles, 3 more all defensive teams. LeBron Jordan never did the super team thing, which a lot of people hated LeBron for. Which, listen, I was a Dwayne Wade Heat fan before LeBron came there, so it was kind of cool. But like, I think Boston was a super team before that anyway. So
yeah.
and
And they
LeBron
actually weren't the first super team. The first super team
right,
actually was like Magic Johnson, Kareem, and a
yeah,
couple of those other guys.
right. So the super team thing is like kind of annoying. I mean, whatever. Now, the missed playoffs that it has LeBron 4, MJ 0. I don't know where they got that from. Jordan missed the playoffs a lot during his early career.
And his last 2 years with the Wizards.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, it's just Jordan just has like the perfect amount of everything that makes him the GOAT, whereas LeBron's longevity with the stats and everything, and of course he's got his MVPs and his All Pros. He's going to have more. Jordan retired, then came back, and then won 3 in a row after that. Won 3 in a row before that. The Wizards thing was weird. I think LeBron's Lakers thing is weird. So even though LeBron did win one with the Lakers, and LeBron's won a chip every
3 different teams.
3 different teams, but I mean,
That's a big deal.
but those teams have been pretty good. Like other than like the Cavs team was probably his worst team, but he still had Kyrie Irving, and I think the Cavs is the most special and most important one for his career. But I just can't put anyone above MJ, dude. I just can't, dude.
Listen, I only have LeBron above MJ because if you look at LeBron's age, 38, yes, the longevity thing is a factor, and that's why he got the all-time scoring title. But if you go and look at these guys in their final couple of years of their career, look at MJ. He was a shell of himself, 20 points per game. Go to Kobe. He was a shell of himself. Kareem was a shell. He averaged 10 points a game when he got to 38,000 points. Dirk Nowitzki averaged 7 points per game in his last couple of years. That's an all-time scorer right there. I mean,
Yeah, but
Karl Malone was 13 points per game at the back end of his career. LeBron is averaging 30 points per game 2 years in a row at age 37 and 38. That will never happen again unless it's going to be Kevin Durant. He's the only other person I can see doing it. And I think Kevin Durant's on the back end of his career already at the age of 34.
But I mean, that's great, and someone was bound to do it. I mean, and players aren't even playing back-to-backs anymore. They're taking so many games off and stuff. It's easier now to with that load management for the longevity and everything. Longevity, yeah. But I fucked that word up like 3 times now. But just imagine. I just. And I don't know if what Jordan, we all know what Jordan did in his off time. He was less of a, keeping his mind and body right. He'd go gamble. He do crazy stuff. I mean, it was the 90s, man. So,
but he had to leave the league because of his gambling. He had to retire in the midst of his prime because of his gambling.
Yeah, but
to go play baseball.
Still think MJ's the GOAT, man, of all time. It's just, I mean, best all around player, like total.
Nope. Actually, is LeBron.
No, that's what I'm gonna. Yeah, best all around.
LeBron's 4th in assists, and I mean he's up there in rebounds as well.
Right, but
thanks to his longevity.
Yeah,
it's exactly. Not. It's
why are you knocking longevity? It's
LeBron.
LeBron's
because
better
all these guys
because he can play longer.
It's a new age. Okay, what do we always talk about in football? An ACL tear. Back in the day, you weren't coming back from that. Now you can come back in months, and you're not back. Maybe not back to 100, but you're back and you're physically active within months. Jordan and them guys, they didn't play that long just because they couldn't do it. They they're the health and the research and everything else, the medicine was not the same. LeBron probably spends $2 million, $3 million a year on his body alone, on what he can eat, on what he injects in his body, on training, on all this other stuff. That's why Tom Brady is playing football till 45. That's not ever heard of.
Nope, it's not.
And it's because of research. It's because of medicine. It's because of training. That's what LeBron did for being in this era of basketball. Okay, whenever I start talking about the GOAT debate, I don't like talking about it because there's so many different things you can say that Jordan was better than LeBron. LeBron was better than Jordan. Usually it's all statistical. Yeah, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Jordan played, 15 seasons, and LeBron played 20. If Jordan gets his 3 from college back, he goes crazy as a fucking 18-year-old in the league. Okay. But what separates it from me is what impact did they have on the game?
LeBron's had the bigger impact.
LeBron has the bigger impact.
Yes.
Yes.
By what faction? The super team thing?
No, if you look at LeBron, he was literally the golden child coming out of high school. Like since he was 13, he's been the golden child. He came in the league, immediately started doing off the court stuff. That's impact stuff. if you're talking impact, the only player in the NBA to have the most impact in basketball history is Steph Curry. After him is LeBron James. And then Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan took it global. LeBron James made it, I don't know, just like superstardom to me. Nobody has had more of an impact on basketball than LeBron James and Steph Curry. And I think LeBron James, his off the court stuff is what makes him more impactful than what Michael Jordan could have ever done. Michael Jordan did have a huge impact. He took it global, for Pete's sake. But LeBron took it to the next generation. He's empowering kids for the next generation. That's a huge impact, in my opinion. You can't
because of the money and the social networking and the stuff he can do now.
Right. Yeah,
you didn't even have the internet in the 90s, man.
That's why LeBron's more impactful.
No, it's hard to being my age, 36, I can remember well without internet, and with internet it's hard to try to compare the two when it comes to impact. I think they're both up there. And Jordan, with some of his off the court issues that are well documented, like I don't have to say bring those up, but LeBron is the one thing I like LeBron, other than like his weird political things that he does randomly without any information, like he just blabbers random stuff. LeBron's pretty squeaky clean off the court. You know what I mean? Like same.
Well, he has to be. Ever since he was an 18-year-old kid, cameras probably followed LeBron James everywhere he's went.
Yeah, he
can't do shit and be like, oh man, I'll give you $500 to do that, because anybody that films LeBron or it's going right to Twitter.
But other people, to Facebook. There's been other athletes that's had the cameras in their faces and they've faltered, like a Johnny Manziel and stuff like that. I'm not saying they had the talent like a LeBron, but there's been plenty of younger athletes that have failed when the camera and when the media pressure is on them. LeBron, he could have.
He came into the league in 2003, though. I mean, let's not act like saying Johnny Manziel, like 2003. What, you still had like a fucking CD player in your back pocket. You still had a fucking flip phone. Okay. LeBron had that time to mature. And I'm not saying LeBron's a good person. I will never knock LeBron's character. Okay. I'm not a Bron fan on the court, but he's an amazing guy. Okay. But he had time to mature in a day and age where it didn't really. I mean, like nobody was going to take a picture of him out eating a fucking $100 steak and be like, look at LeBron's expensive ass on Twitter, because it wasn't around. It was word to word. It was what is it, mouth to mouth shit. Okay, the newspaper. Yeah. It wasn't anything big. Nowadays, Johnny Manziel smokes a cigarette on the corner, and they're like, oh, look at this guy, huh? It's different. It's a different time. Okay, and then you look at the teams that he had to play back then. I mean, Jordan was playing what we consider some of the all-time greats. I mean, the fucking bad boys, for Christ's sake. LeBron plays Steph Curry, right?
I mean,
what's the puzzle look for, Vance?
LeBron had the easiest path to the playoffs ever.
Oh,
ever.
Okay.
Like after Detroit finally fell apart, it was the easiest thing for LeBron.
You said LeBron.
Michael Jordan had the easiest path to the NBA Finals after the bad boys disappeared. You
don't think he played greats?
What?
No.
The Charles Barkley's Suns team were like they were the number one seed.
Michael Jordan had the easiest path to
Jazz?
the NBA Finals every single. Malone was on the back end of his career, dude. Come on.
What? That Malone? That was his prime.
That was not prime Malone.
Mid-90s was Malone's prime, and
mid-90s was not. No.
That's the reason they were in the finals.
Look, Michael Jordan going to the play. Look, prime Malone in the 90s.
Jordan never got past Magic and Bird, really.
That was late. That was early in my MJ's career, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the eight. I think he beat Magic for like his first championship, though, right? In the early 90s. Or was that Detroit?
But this is just my point is it's another argument. It's
or to
something.
get through
This
Detroit.
debate will never be, it's never going to be enshrined somewhere and says your opinion is wrong, because everybody has an opinion, and everybody has a different fact to back that opinion up.
Right.
The different eras thing is always brought up.
And 99.9% of people, whoever they believe is the GOAT, you're not going to change their mind anyway. It's just like with any kind of, you could bring every fact with each one, and no one's going to be like, you know what? I agree with you. I'm changing my mind. That very rarely happens. You either believe LeBron's
it's like a favorite team. You're going to go to the death. You're going to go to the grave with that.
Yeah. So you could argue for both. I mean, some people, the way Kobe was. I mean, Kobe's mentality. Some people think he's the GOAT. Kareem. It is. You probably won't be witnessing another type of LeBron.
No,
so
I believe Jordan is the GOAT. Okay, that's never changed my mind on that. I mean, I just
Vance did believe Derek Carr was going to be.
You'll never change my mind on that, but the different era thing saying that LeBron couldn't play back then, I would need to see it. I think LeBron could. I think he could be physical and stuff like that, but it is a different game.
That's because
you go to like I watched preparing for today. I watched the Bad Boys scenes. You're not getting to the rim. You're not gonna fly in there as LeBron and just catch a little, and they're like, ah.
Yeah, I think LeBron would.
I mean, he caught yesterday. He catches an elbow, just off the old nog. I mean, even if it really hit him that hard.
I will say, grazed him. He finished the play, and then covers his face like, oh.
Hits the floor. The Thunder go down. They do their possession. He comes back, and he's still on the floor.
Theatrics excluded. I think LeBron would be top 5 dominant in the 90s, 80s, 70s, whatever. I also think the way it's so soft nowadays, I think someone like Jordan that would play now, Jordan would also dominate. Like, it's just, that's Jordan, the way his killer instinct was, Jordan would also dominate and be top 5 now. So, so even someone like Wilt probably now, but
I mean, we could technically go on this. I mean, if you let me have time. I mean, I had time technically, but we're long work hours. We all know. Anyway, I could come up with an hour's debate. I mean, we could stay here all freaking night and debate which way who it is.
Yeah. Or Westbrook, man. Just come back home to OKC. We'll treat you right.
Nah, he's going to the Clippers.
He's just a piece of meat at this point. He's sad.
Going to the Clippers.
What?
He's going to the Clippers.
Why?
They need a point guard, and he's going to get bought out from Utah. He wants to play for a contender. Clippers.
You're off topic here.
Anyways, let me break something down for you. Let's go to LeBron or Michael Jordan's finals runs, right? 1991, he played the Knicks. Who'd they have? Nobody. They played Philly. Who'd they have in 91? Nobody. He played Detroit. That was the last year of the Bad Boys.
Didn't the Knicks 91. Have Ewing in 91?
Ewing never made it to a finals. He was
still good.
He was a great player, yeah, but he wasn't like he's in nobody's top 5. He's not. I don't even think he's in a top 10 list. So let's keep it moving off that.
LeBron also went through shit teams in the East. Let's be real.
Well, I was going to let him finish, and I was going to be like, okay, Vance,
I'll pull up LeBron's.
LeBron's first finals appearance, who did he play?
He had to beat the Dwight Howard led Orlando Magic to get into the finals.
Who did he play? The Dwight Howard led Magic.
That was Dwight Howard in his absolute prime, who just came off a finals appearance a couple years before.
No, I'm saying who did LeBron beat in the finals?
Oh, in the finals, he beat the greatest team ever assembled. The 79,
Start from the first. Start from the
73 and 9.
I said, who did he beat in his first finals?
Let's see. His first finals, which year was that? 2012?
Oh, is it
He went to the final. Didn't he go to the finals?
He played Oklahoma. He played
Isn't it
Oklahoma City.
Isn't it the super young Oklahoma City team?
The wet
that he
behind
went
the
to the-
ear fucking OKC.
Don't even. I'm not buying the super young Oklahoma City Thunder because the Thunder were a 60-win team that year. They were absolutely dominant. They choked that series. I will not buy the
They lost
super
4-1.
young. They choked. They were absolutely horrible. I will not
The
buy
spotlight
that.
was
I
too
won't
big
buy
for
that.
him.
The year after he beat San Antonio, which was a dynasty.
Hold on. Listen. This little thing I sent has every time LeBron his playoffs. Okay. Missed.
Didn't he go to the finals in 2011?
Yes, choked in the finals.
He lost to the
2010,
Mavs.
choked in the
Second
round.
The nobody
2009.
Mavs.
What do you mean the nobody Mavs? That was the Dirk.
The
Dirk and Jason Kidd magical run? Dirk's a top 10 player all time.
Where LeBron was terrible.
He was bad. He wasn't terrible. He was bad. You got to remember, LeBron still averaged like 26 points per game in that series. It's like LeBron disappeared in the clutch moments. He didn't disappear from the finals. He disappeared from the clutch moments. He passed the ball in the fourth quarter instead of taking over the game.
He didn't even have like 10 assists.
He didn't back then. LeBron wasn't an assist savvy guy. He still got assists, but he wasn't like 10 assists a game where he is now.
Jordan was 6-0 in the finals.
Regardless, what I'm getting at is both of them.
He played the easiest people in the finals.
LeBron came from the East.
Jordan came from the East.
When the East was good.
No, the East was bad.
The East was way better than the West.
When Jordan made his finals runs, the East was weak.
No way, dude.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, he played the Knicks. The hardest team he went up against in his finals run in the East was the Reggie Miller Indiana Pacers. That was the hardest team he had to face the whole time.
And you're over here, okay, so the Reggie Miller-led Pacers, and then you're going to be like, that Dirk Nowitzki squad was all going on insane. All they had was Dirk Nowitzki.
They had Jason Kidd, who was phenomenal in that fight. And Jason Terry was
We're talking about the East, not the West. Talking about the East, not the West. The East teams that LeBron also beat going into the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, all those East teams were terrible as well. Very, very bad. The West dominated that whole 2010s. You had Spurs, you had Lakers winning. You even had the Pistons every now and then with that one roster that one year until the Celtics started winning. But the West was dominant like that whole time.
LeBron's first championship was the hardest path to the finals ever. He went through the Carmelo Anthony-led Knicks, who was averaging 28 points per game, went ballistic in that series. Then he played Indiana and Paul George when he came alive, playoff P.
Oh my God.
That went 6 games. Then he had to turn around and play Boston Celtics, the original super team.
The old super team.
Did you just call that the hardest path ever?
It's one of the hardest path ever. Actually came from the Dallas Mavericks in their title run.
Probably, yeah.
That is the hardest path ever, and it cannot be debated.
The Carmelo and J.R. Smith led Knicks.
That was a good team. That was a really good team.
It's one man.
At the time, J.R. Smith was really good.
The fucking Paul George, Danny Granger Pacers.
That was a really good team.
Dude, Danny Granger.
You're knocking these guys at their prime when those are crazy good teams.
Paul George.
Listen, they're good teams,
but he was a pup.
Paul George,
and they almost lost.
That's when playoff P was alive. That's when
they almost lost to the Pacers.
They did, yeah.
And then
Paul George was a pup.
And then you go down to the next year. LeBron won a title. He had to go through Milwaukee, which they swept. Milwaukee was garbage. Then they had to go against the Derrick Rose prime Bulls. That was a tough series that they won in 5, and that was a very good Bulls team. And then they had to face again the Indiana Pacers, and they went 7 with them. And then they went 7 with San Antonio. That was a crazy run for them right there.
Saved by Ray Allen.
What does it matter? And then you go 2016. Wait, was 2016 the year he won?
I think there's an iconic photo of Jordan hitting game winners.
LeBron is the most clutch playoff player in NBA history. He has the most buzzer beaters and clutch points
in the finals?
NBA. Yes, in NBA finals and NBA playoffs history. Go look it up. LeBron is the JJ Redick did all the research for us. He said it in his own podcast. He went through all the numbers. LeBron James is the most clutch player in NBA history.
Throughout his career or playoffs?
His whole career. He has the most points. He has more buzzer beaters than Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant combined in the playoffs. He has more buzzer beaters and clutch points and go-ahead buckets in regular season than anybody. JJ Redick did all the research for us.
Because Kobe and Jordan were spanking ass, not, almost losing.
Kobe Bryant struggled to get a number one seed without
Kobe Bryant.
Shaq.
But
Kobe Bryant struggled to get a number one seed without.
But the West was top shelf, though.
You know what LeBron didn't have to worry about? Not securing the number one seed for like 9 straight years.
In the East? In the East? You're going to talk about competition? You can't sit here and be like, oh, the East was crazy fucking tough.
I'm not saying the East was crazy tough, but it wasn't awful either.
It was pretty awful.
You had teams come alive like Atlanta, who went crazy that year with Kyle Korver, Al Horford, and Paul Millsap. You guys don't even acknowledge these good teams.
About Miller.
I'm not saying they're
1 to 2.
You guys are just I can't look. You can't debate this because you guys. I acknowledge those teams in the East that LeBron or Jordan had to go up against. Some were really good, but when Jordan's time to go to the finals was there, his only test the whole time was the Bad Boys final run, which he finally beat them, and then the Reggie Miller Indiana Pacers.
I'm not saying there's good players. You were saying there's no good players. That's what you said. Yeah. I'm not saying there wasn't.
I'm saying there was good teams.
I mean, there was good. That's the reason they were in the playoffs. They were good teams, but I think it's a wash if you look at LeBron's Eastern opponents and Jordan's Eastern opponents.
Yeah, they were both equally bad.
But okay, right.
I mean, if you look at Jordan's playoff runs and all the years he made the finals, the East was weak as crap. Had little to no star talent. Didn't have a dominant team other than the Chicago Bulls. If you go to LeBron's run in the East, not a dominant team besides Boston one year, and then there was a year where it was the Hawks for 1 year that just took over the East. Other than that, I mean, that's kind of equal to Jordan's East years.
What happened when Jordan made the finals?
I mean, obviously he won because he had more help than LeBron.
Oh my God. Are you kidding? Are you joking?
Scottie Pippen is universally recognized as the top defensive player to ever step foot on a basketball court. Is he not?
I mean, he's up there. He's not the number one.
Is he not? Is he not universally recognized as at least a top 5 defensive talent ever to step foot on a court?
You just waved off Ray Allen's thing. You know, like, oh, Ray Allen did save him. Jordan never got saved. Jordan did it himself.
Jordan got saved by Steve Kerr. What are you talking about?
Steve Kerr.
Okay, but
Steve Kerr bailed Jordan out on multiple occasions. Let's not sit here and say Jordan never got bailed out because he most certainly did. But Jordan, you know what? You know what the highlight tapes of the 90s won't show you? Jordan getting bailed out. You know what the media of today's world will show you? Because there's a lot of old heads that are like, Jordan's a GOAT, Jordan's a GOAT. So the media, in my opinion, is heavily biased in terms of Jordan. So he doesn't get the negativity that LeBron will get.
Yeah, but you're saying that LeBron didn't have the help that Jordan had is insane.
Yeah, come on.
LeBron did have help, but he
had arguably the greatest shooter. The greatest shoot. Well, at the time, the greatest shooter of all time in a couple of his finals runs. Right there, he went and grabbed
who?
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen was a shell of himself. The dude averaged 12 points a game.
He could still stroke the three.
He stroked 1 3 that we all remember. That's it. No
Ray
one
Allen-
else remembers a single thing about Ray Allen's playoff runs with the Miami Heat.
Top
Not a single
75
thing.
teammates, LeBron 5, MJ 2. Seasons with 2 qualifying All-Star teammates, LeBron 5, MJ 0. Top 5 draft pick teammates, LeBron 21, Michael Jordan 1.
That's because LeBron joined a bad Cavaliers team that constantly had high picks before he got there. A lot of those top picks are already there. And then when he came back his second term, all those picks were there. That's off. Throw that stat out.
Just saying.
Throw that one out.
He couldn't win it with Cleveland, so he's like, I'm gonna go join a super team, and then whenever they're bad and I get good players on my team, I'm gonna bounce back, and then I'm gonna win a championship, and I'm gonna say, Cleveland, this is for you. I had to leave.
Who was the good player that was on that Cleveland Cavaliers team that he went back to?
Who he won the finals with?
They had Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving, who was having the Cleveland Cavaliers bottom 3 in the East every year.
Are you gonna knock?
That was a good player. That was a good player. Kevin Love was phenomenal, but LeBron had to recruit his ass.
Once again,
he didn't go.
Once again,
listen.
Once again, you just admitted it.
The Cleveland team.
Kevin Love was a top fucking like 15 talent in the NBA.
He was an all-star. He was an all-star.
And then he went to Cleveland and was a shell. Was a shell of himself. He was nowhere near what he was in Minnesota. Go look at those Minnesota Kevin Love years.
He had LeBron on his team. He doesn't have to carry the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I agree. Just like
he literally was an all-star and played like it.
Regardless of that, Cleveland, that was the best of LeBron's career, down 3-1. That is what we should remember LeBron as. Going back to his hometown, yes, he had some talent. The Heat coming off a loss, and beating that Warriors team with KD, that 73-9 team, that was an accomplishment.
No, he never beat the KD-led Warriors. He beat the team before they got KD.
Oh, right, before. That's right. Yeah, KD went after
73
the
wins.
73.
They were
73 wins before the Snake went and joined.
That's right. God, KD.
And once again, I'm just gonna bring it up because we know Jordan got. He could hit the big shots, but who hit the 3 over Steph Curry to win that finals? The guy you're sitting here smoozing on. The guy you're sitting here saying is dog, basically.
Look, Kyrie Irving only became box office because of LeBron James.
That's fair.
Okay.
Kyrie's still great, though.
Kyrie Irving will never be a top player on a championship team. He just won't.
He was.
He was not. He was not the top player. LeBron James was. Kyrie Irving will never be that guy. Kyrie Irving will never be the sole leader of a team and will them to a finals like LeBron did in 2007.
Brooklyn literally had Kyrie, James Harden, and KD.
And couldn't get it done. Brooklyn has also had Kyrie and KD. Boston also had Kyrie, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, all those cats. But you know what ultimately was the downfall of that Boston's team? Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving had one phenomenal year, and that was that championship year in Cleveland. Other than that, Kyrie Irving's box office. I'll give you that. He's a phenomenal player to watch. I love watching Kyrie Irving play, but he'll never be a number 1 player on a roster that'll win a championship. And he can't even be on a roster by himself and not be bottom 5 in that division or that conference. I mean, go look at history. He's never done it. When Kyrie Irving was the sole leader of the Cleveland Cavaliers, they had a top 3 pick every year.
And after 35 minutes of debate, 0 minds were changed, and the GOAT debate goes on.
That's why I love this. I love this debate. It's gonna be a long ass YouTube video too.
Oh, shit.
I'm just saying, Kyrie was just as good in that finals as LeBron was.
Kyrie Irving was phenomenal. That's the 1 year Kyrie Irving was.
Isn't
phenomenal.
it funny though how everything?
But LeBron James damn near averaged a triple-double in that finals.
Actually, the playoff run after that, Kyrie was even better.
But that was the KD led.
And he didn't see, dribbling up the court. Here comes his supposed GOAT up the floor to win the finals here. Oh, wait, it's Kyrie fucking Irving. Step back from the fucking the little line. Bang! Right there is Curry's fucking face.
Kyrie Irving's
Save
one of the best contested shooters in NBA history. Why would you not let him take that shot?
Why did it go to Kyrie then?
I just said that. Kyrie is one of the best contested shooters in NBA
Oh,
history.
you said LeBron.
Oh, sorry. Kyrie Irving is that guy in terms of contested shooting. I mean, the dude's 6'0", drives the paint and scores on 7-footers because he's a great contested shooter. I would let Kyrie take that shot 9 out of 10 times over LeBron James.
So you're drawing up the play, and you're like, okay, I need a game winner finals right here. I'm gonna go to Kyrie. Whenever you have LeBron James on your roster, by the way,
you can also go to LeBron James because LeBron James is statistically the most clutch player in playoffs and NBA history.
Kyrie.
Wow.
Just saying.
There's
two finals. There's
LeBron's
two finals wins where somebody else has got to hit a big shot. Literally in the final games. I don't think you're ever going to find a one where in the game 7 where LeBron or Jordan's getting bailed out by a Steve Kerr 3. Maybe you will. I didn't live in the 90s. I was born in fucking 97.
Jordan, I don't think Jordan went to a game 7.
Not in the finals because he played no talent.
Or he took care of business when he got there.
No, he played nobody.
Or he took care of business when he got there.
He played a 37-year-old Magic Johnson and like a 90-year-old Kareem.
Oh God.
He played the back end of a beat up Bad Boys team.
And
who just went on like
was prime.
Who just went on a three-peat.
The Spurs dynasty was prime. They're all in their super prime.
I will say Tim Duncan in his later years was prime. That dude
Tim Duncan's game was endless.
Yeah, Tim Duncan could probably still be playing right now if he wanted to.
Okay, but
Tony Parker,
Spurs team is Ginobili, the old fucking bald ass out there now. You know, you used to
I think Ginobili could still play. Isn't he still playing in Euro?
He had a full head of hair when he started, and then as you get older, you tend to bald. And when LeBron played him, he was bald as shit. So I think he was out of his prime. He hit the fucking retirement home Mavericks and couldn't take care of them. I mean, Jesus Christ. Then he had to roll into the daycare and whoop the shit out of Thunder.
Oh, I don't want to hear that one.
They weren't ready.
Thunder were a 60-win team that year. I'm not saying the Thunder were wet behind the ears and they were young, but that was the Thunder's year.
It was. As a Thunder fan, we can sit here and say that was the Thunder's year.
And 2018 as well was also their year, but they choked a 3-1 lead against Golden State. Or no, not 2018, 2016. Right? Yeah, 2016.
Yes.
Awful.
All I'm saying is Jordan was great when he needed to be consistently.
And LeBron is the most clutch player in NBA history.
Sure. Longevity.
So you keep saying longevity like that. All that does is just
5 more seasons.
I think that boosts my point why LeBron's the greatest player ever.
No, I just told you why he's playing longer.
Yeah, that boosts my point on why he's.
So Jordan's not born in the right era. So you just he gets knocked down.
No, Jordan he didn't take care of his body. That's why he gets knocked down.
Plus, he played 3 years in college.
Okay. He didn't take care of his body.
He didn't take care of his body.
He smoked, he drank, he gambled.
And he still dropped fucking 30 fucking points a night.
LeBron's taking care of his body and dropping 30 points a night.
Exactly. Well, that's why he's the all-time, right?
Because he takes care of his body, then that's why he's the greatest ever, because he takes care of his body. He did something different. And it's proving to be right. Tom Brady did something different, and that's why he's the greatest of all time.
That's why he's not leaders. LeBron is not the greatest of all time. All right. What dunk has everybody tried to recreate? In a lot of dunk contests, a lot of them. Jump from the free throw line because I think his airness did it.
He was still a foot before the free throw line. I don't want to hear it.
His airness. Okay. Who's a global worldwide brand who is still kicking to this day? Jordan, because he had an impact on the game. He's the greatest ever because of what he did on and off the court.
I'm not saying he is great. I just think LeBron's better.
Because because he has statistics.
He's got everything. I mean, he's got longevity. He's got the stats. He still has a chance to walk away with more titles. I'm not saying he will, but I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying he has a chance. And I'm just that D'Lo trade. Whoo! You get LeBron in the playoffs. I mean, if he can win a playing game, I don't know if he will or not, but we'll see.
LeBron never gets the GOAT talk from me because he lost 6 times in the finals.
Ooh,
he gets to go talk for me because he made it to the finals 10 times in his career. That's a huge accomplishment. I don't see how that gets knocked. I understand he lost, but it's like that's still a big deal to be in the dance. Michael Jordan, half the time, I mean, his first 10 years in the league, 6 years in the league, didn't even get asked to the dance. LeBron's been asked to the dance 10 out of 20 years.
Jordan did prevent multiple future Hall of Famers from getting rings. LeBron did not do the same, unfortunately, in his era. Just saying.
I don't know, man. I mean, you're looking at the old stat. You see the stat card, and you're like, "Oh my god, look at these! Oh my, look at these points! Look at these assists! Look at these! Look at the rebounds, the steals, the clutch point." Does it matter?
What are you looking at stat wise? The 6-0. That's the only stat you see.
I see a winner.
LeBron's a winner.
He literally he's 4 for 6, or he's 4 for 10.
So you're looking at stats. All you see is stats.
He's not a winner in the finals. That's not a stat. It's just a fact.
A stat
40%
decline.
Okay, maybe
he still has a chance to turn that around. He's
not going to.
Career's not said and done. He's still kicking. All right, we move on to the Super Bowl.
Kyrie Irving.
We move on to the Super Bowl. Still a championship.
Yeah, and
there's
who's besides yours?
And everybody, there's no asterisks beside it. If you go on
there's not. No. Real fans know. Like Katie has an asterisk. Real fans don't say you're trying.
Katie has a snake beside his.
Absolutely, yeah. It's more than an asterisk.
Well, that's a fact. We all know that.